You're watching Action News Now. Storm Tracker weather. Coverage you can count on.
Punxsutawney Phil, ladies and gentlemen.
It is Groundhog Day, the one day a rodent outshines our Action News Now weather team. Marmot meteorologist Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow this morning, and we all know what that means, 6 more weeks of winter. Phil considers his shadow an omen of more so-called bad weather to come, but he's only right just about 40% of the time.
Action News Now has our annual Groundhog Day team coverage. Jason, we don't really consider rain and snow bad weather around here. And by the way, you get it right way more than 40% of the time.
There we go. Yeah, I don't worry too much about Punxsutawney Phil, although he's above me right now. But we are going to have more winter-like weather. We need it here. That's certainly not bad news here. We want all the rain and snow we can get. Now, all the clouds that we had today, it would have been nice to get those a few hours earlier. It wouldn't have been this cold this morning. Reading once again well below freezing. The average low is 39, but today we started the day at 28. It was 30 degrees this morning in Chico, 33 in Oroville. Chester was 5 degrees, and it was 17 degrees to start the day in Boerne. With all the clouds that we had most of this afternoon, we didn't get quite where we should be on this second day of February. Had a high of 56 degrees in Reading with the average high of 59. 54 degrees in Chico, only 38 degrees for Chester, and a mild 50 in Weaverville as well as Mount Shasta. So all the clouds are still overhead. Had some filtered sunshine for a good portion of the day, but we just couldn't warm up very much, and we're going to get more clouds overnight. So by the time we get to 11 o'clock, once again, here is that cold front moving our direction, and it's going to start accelerating as it moves onshore. So by 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, Trinity County already getting some areas of snow and rain for the western parts of Shasta, Tehama, and Glenn County. Then by 6, 7, 8 a.m., it's already going to be pushing right across the valley. More than likely, a lot of us won't have a rainy or snowy commute through 8 o'clock, but we're going to have wet roads and snowy roads, so make sure you drive carefully. We'll still have some snow over the Sierra as well as the Southern Cascades for the late morning hours, but once we get past about noon, it's just going to be some spotty shower activity. A mostly cloudy sky for the rest of Friday and the early part of Saturday, and then the second storm I've been telling you about will start getting closer and closer to us. So by Saturday evening, here's 5 p.m., already some light showers developing once again over the Sierra and the Southern Cascades. Nothing too heavy. The biggest part of the storm still offshore, and that's going to be sweeping overhead late Saturday into Sunday. Coming up in our second half hour, I'm going to show you the longer term forecast and show you how much rain and snow we're going to get from both storms. Not only the first one that's coming in overnight tonight, but that second one this weekend. And also there's a chance we might get a third one by Wednesday and Thursday, but it's not looking quite as likely as the first two. So in the short term, let's see what we're going to get. All the way through noon tomorrow, most of the area is already going to receive its rain and snow from it, and it's going to start to dry out. We'll have a good chance for between 1/3 of an inch and 2/3 of an inch of rain for the valley and the foothills. Not a lot of snow for us, and a lot of it's going to be gone before it even gets to parts of Modoc and as well as Lassen counties. Then we'll have a better chance for additional rain and snow. This goes through Sunday morning. However, we're going to have most of this rain and snow going through a good portion of Sunday. So that's just the beginning of it. Coming up in the second half hour, I'm going to show you the total amount that we're expecting. Healthy amounts, not as much as those great storms in January, but we're still going to have some good chances for rain and snow going forward. Speaking of that snow, not too much with this first storm. By noon, most of it's going to be done, and also most of it's going to be less than about 5 inches of snow, but additional amounts of snow with that second storm. Saturday night through Sunday, we could add another foot of snow to most of our area mountains. So we have several advisories and watches to tell you about. First of all, winter weather advisory for our first storm over northern Trinity County. Not a lot of snow, though, at or below 5 inches, and that's going to be mainly between 2,500 and 3,500 feet. Then a winter storm watch. This is for the second storm, late Saturday through Sunday night. We could receive over a foot of snow, and those snow levels will drop from 4,500 feet to about 3,500 feet by Sunday afternoon. Then we have a wind advisory also for Trinity County. That from 7 o'clock tonight until 10 o'clock Friday morning. Some gusts up to 55 miles an hour will be a possibility, but not as windy for the valley as we have been with a lot of these incoming storms. So overnight tonight, we'll have a lot of clouds. We'll have some overnight rain for the valley and foothills. The lows, because of those clouds, won't fall very far. Lower 40s for us with 20s and 30s for the higher terrain, but the highs will also not rise very high. 40s for the mountains, lower to mid 50s for the valley. Most of that rain, though, is going to be done by noon. A lot of it's going to be done before the sun rises, too. Next 7 days in Chico, best chances for rain will be early tomorrow morning, then late Saturday night and Sunday with a little bit drier weather for much of next week, and the highs will start to rise out of the lower 50s into the lower 60s. And for the Redding area, also a good chance for some early morning rain, a little bit of gusty wind. And by Saturday night and Sunday, here comes that better chance for rain. Highs will be well below average in the lower 50s, then rise to the lower 60s by next week.
Thanks, Jason.